Welcome to the third episode of Sips and Software Podcast, powered by Karmak and the heavy duty trucking industry, with me, Jamie, as your host. Today, I am bringing back Michelle Sawyer. She joined me for the very first episode. She is our Senior Manager of Client Success here at Karmak, and we are going to get deep into their team and how they take care of our customers. We'll talk about what they're doing and what they're responsible for here at Carmack, and hopefully get you thinking about how your company handles your customers' success. It has to be top of mind. Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, I'm so excited that you're joining me. So, today we've got some good content that I'm excited to talk about. But before we get into that, what are you drinking? What's in your cup?
I have tea today, if you can believe it. Yes, I said I love coffee, but I decided to break up the monotony and go with tea today.
Good for you. Do you have a specialty that you like? Does it have caffeine at least in it, hopefully?
This is just a chamomile, so I think it's going
Oh.
to do nothing but put me to bed in a little bit.
Well, we don't want that.
It's all
But
good. It smells delicious, is what caught me as I was going through the kitchen.
I love it. Yep. I am back to my same coffee with my same creamer. I know I almost did the black coffee, but I just couldn't do it. But I'm going to set a personal goal, and by the end of the month, maybe by our next episode, I will drink the black coffee.
Yeah. Well, and I think that was my goal is that you had mentioned you drink tea, you drink coffee. And I thought, oh, for this podcast, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do
Look,
tea.
we're
Tea
both
is
in,
in my cup.
we're both inspiring each other.
We are. Thank you.
Yes, I love it. And then what fills your cup? I know last time I said a staycation, like I wanted to just stay home because we've been on the go so much. Um, so for me, it's kind of the same thing. Like self-care, right? I just want to take care of myself and my family and not be so chauffeur running around crazy. There's always something going on. So what about you though? Like where are you trying to focus this week for yourself? What are you doing for Michelle?
So this week, I am focusing on just, staying active, going on walks. But my main focus, what I do to get up every morning is just to make sure that I know exactly what is happening with my family. So I mentioned before that my parents and my kids and my husband are my North Star. When I look at our parents, those are things that as you get older, the changing of the guards is happening, right? So I'm just making sure that my parents stay healthy and stay with us as long as they can, and then obviously my kids, making sure that they are doing very well. So they are still my North Star. They will always be.
That is great. And hopefully you can take your time off that you deserve and spend time with your family because that's the best way to fill your cup when it comes to family is just, I think, just one-on-one time and being with them. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
So speaking of North Star, great segue. We actually did not plan that. At Carmack, part of our culture is making our customers our North Star. Like, what can we do to make sure our customers see us as a partner and just not a vendor of theirs, and we're contributing to their success? So, since Michelle, you are the senior manager of client success here at Carmack, I thought you could start us off a little bit about talking about that. Like so you tell us what your role is and with your team specifically. So you manage the client success team and what do they do?
Yeah. So the client success team is really all about focusing on our customers, making sure that we understand what their goals are, aligning them to not just products, not just features, but how we can help move the needle for a customer, right? So I am always trying to make sure that our team is able to talk to our customers and let them know, hey, here's what Carmack is doing current, and then what's on the roadmap, what's coming up next. And then what we find a lot of times is customers will say, "Hey, I didn't know that Fusion can do X, Y, or Z." My team is very good at filling in some of those holes. What we want to do is change how we perceive client success in the future.
So when you talk about client success, can you talk a little bit about like what's the difference between client success and customer support? Because, being one of the Salesforce admins, we have multiple vendors that we work with from an integration standpoint with our CRM. And, some of them have a client success, like an AE or some type of person I can reach out to on a different level, but all of them have customer support. So can you talk about that a little bit? Like, what's the difference between Carmac's customer support versus the client success team?
That is such a great question because there is such a big misconception of what client success does. Customer support is very reactive. There's something that is happening on the screen. There's a message. There's a process that's not working exactly how you want it. That's what you want to reach out to our customer support. And then, of course, we have our professional services team, which is taking those customers to the next level, and they're very project based. Client success is really about moving that customer forward. What do we need to do to be more proactive for that customer? Making sure that they're getting the value out of Fusion, out of Carmack, setting the pace for what their goals are going to be, and hopefully preventing some issues from becoming bigger challenges for us. So, really, what we want to do is improve that partnership. It's a long term partnership, and we want to make sure that we are doing that as best as we can.
So when you talk about the partnership, like what do you guys physically bring to the table? So let's just talk through a scenario. So you have a dealership out on the West Coast. Go California. I used to live there. Oh, you do? Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
I know, right?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
not planned either. So let's just say you have a dealership out on the West Coast and they're reaching out to customer support often and they're showing signs that they're struggling. And we notice at Carmack that they need an extra layer of, you know, assistance
Tension.
or direction or attention. I'm not going to specifically say what vendor, but we do have a vendor where it always feels like they're just trying to like sell us more. Like, okay, what you have this problem. Well, why don't you upgrade and do this and it will solve your problem? Like, we don't want to do that. I'm sure there are times that we have done that and put out a product or a solution that would give them the right um, direction that they need to go with it. But like, what do you guys do that's not always just selling another product, but what do you guys do for our customers that help, get them in a better spot?
Yeah, and so for me and my team, it is important to have our ears to the ground, right? So understanding what their current challenge is for a customer. So we walk in the door, we might notice that the process and service department may not be exactly how it's the most efficient, productive for the team. We can see that. The other is really because we have been in the industry for 45 plus years. Obviously, we have a lot of knowledge of how things function. If you're a warehouse distributor, a dealership, a leasing company, and you've just been onboarded to Fusion, let's say 9 months ago, your number one goal is just to make sure that you can close business every single day and be able to do that. What we want to do is open up that door and say, okay, what is next for that customer to be much more productive, bring up their margins. And that is what our team is going to do. They are going to bring value to the customer to showcase what they can do next. So, since we have a lot of tools in our tool belt, we're able to kind of look at the various different functions and processes or workflows within a company to say, here's where you can go next. And that's really what we want to do is get them to that next level. Doesn't matter if you've been with us for 9 months or 15 years, you want to get to that next level all the time. And that's what the goal is here.
So how do you identify the ones that need to get to the next level? Like how at Carmack and with you and your team, how do you guys know these are the accounts or these are the ones that we need to focus on. They need our support, they need our help.
Absolutely. So that's a great question because what we want to do is not just look at, hey, we're walking in the door and we're asking, how are you doing? That's being reactive. What we want to do is look at holistically who's calling in, what are they calling in for? Do we see any trends that are happening with that customer? A lot of times we'll get a customer that will say, hey, we don't need to have a quarterly business review, and it's mostly because they feel like everything is working perfectly. If perfect was an option, we wouldn't need client success. It is not realistic, and so for me, we always can find ways to fine tune a customer, and that's just us holding that customer's hand and getting them to that next level. We want to make sure that we are providing them the service that they deserve, the support that they need, and the knowledge to move forward. That's what client success is going to do. And so we use tools that we have available with our CRM. We're able to see how many times they're calling into support. Is it a specific area? We can also look to see, what ideas has this customer sent in to our product team, and have a voice for them when it comes to our support teams, our product team, and our professional services team. So we want to make sure that we are able to reach out to all of these different departments and really put them forward. So if we see a trend in the industry, we want to be able to bring that to the table so that everybody knows that we're here to help them move forward.
That's great. Yeah, I'm sure it makes our customers feel like we have their back, that we're there to support them, which is awesome. So whenever you walk into these businesses, and do you actually use data? So I know you said support cases, and you look at anytime that they're calling in, what the topics are, but like what other data do you guys look at?
So there is so much information. We don't want to look at it as a red, green, or yellow status of that customer's health. We want to use analytics to kind of help tell that story. So building up a success profile per customer, because we want them to be unique. We get a lot of customers that will say we're a truck dealership and the warehouse distributor is completely different. So we want to have metrics that help tell that story between the customers, and not only just look at their dollars that they're spending or their subscription and how many locations that they have, because every customer of ours is important. It doesn't matter if you are, a mom and pop repair shop to a heavy duty truck dealership. We want you to have that same experience, but be able to see exactly what you need to move the needle forward.
When you talk about moving the needle forward with them, like give us some examples. And we also have a professional services team now. I know I said earlier we don't want to always throw products, but sometimes you do need that extra layer um, that can get deep into the weeds of more of a huge project with a customer. So we don't have to go there. You could talk about the difference a little bit if you want, but just focusing strictly on the client success team, like what are some things that your customers see that when you guys leave, they feel better about the relationship?
Yeah, so it could be as simple as, I have a new employee. We don't know what to do, how to get them onboarded quickly. We have our Karmak Academy, which is our e-learning platform, allows new employees to be onboarded quickly. Some people think that this e-learning environment is only utilized when they're first coming on to Carmack. We want to make sure that you know that this is always something that can be utilized as a employee retention. You want to be able to say, I have everybody up to speed. As you're growing your business, we're here to partner. And yes, you can then look at additional training, or you can look at professional services. We want to make sure that you are doing great and we're bringing value to you on what Carmack has available. The one thing that I will say that my team does very well is really trying to understand what your challenges are, right? So it's not about what everybody in the industry is dealing with, which we want to know that as well, but typically, what does it help with a customer? So I was just on site last week with a customer, and one of the things that they are looking to improve is their overall mobile trucks that they have. Understanding how we can move that needle, how we can put a workflow together on creating that repair, assigning it to a technician, having that technician clock on. How do you close the repair order? It seems basic, but it is things that get missed as you are just continuing to grow. You might miss a step because you're looking for shortcuts. Everybody everywhere is always looking for a shortcut. And that doesn't mean it's right. It just, you need to go through a flow that works for you and your company.
Yeah, everyone wants to do things faster and quicker, and they can, right? There's so much out there that's allowing us to do that, which is wild.
Yes.
That's probably a whole nother topic or episode. So when you mention mobile trucks, it's one thing I've noticed is how many of our customers are they're expanding from a mobile truck standpoint. So do you guys treat the mobile truck customers of ours the same, or how do you visit them, or how do you make sure that those locations are taken care of?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Our industry moves in different directions depending on where we are in life, right? And right now, mobilizing the service department is probably one of the biggest industry changes that I have seen in the last couple years. More customers have mobile trucks to go visit their customers. So we have been enhancing tools within Carmack to adopt and adapt to those changes. But yes, the mobile trucks are going in a very high direction. It's peaking, but most of our customers, that is where they're going, and that's what we see. So typically, if I'm in front of a customer and they're talking about service, I'll sometimes ask them, hey, do you have mobile trucks? We typically know that they do. But if they're starting to build up or they're not sure what they're doing with their mobile trucks, they'll start very small. And that's where we are here to help. At Client Success, we want to be able to say, here is what our industry is doing, right? We're bringing that knowledge. We understand what the changes are, and then help them and guide them to be successful in that new area. So that is one area of expertise that we bring to the table. But we want to look at, you know, everyone is always finding new ways to help their business, and we want to make sure we connect with them and we are there to partner with them to get through that.
Yeah, that's great. So tell me something fun. I know I said in my very first episode, I want to have some fun. So, like, what do you have any funny customer stories or any success stories? I know I threw this at you. I was not planning to ask you this, but give me something fun. Like, what do you love about our customers, and what's a good story? Do
You
you have?
know, that I love that question, and mostly because we are very connected to our customers. They're not a number. We're a employee-owned company, so when we connect with customers, it is so great. A partnership works two ways, right? It's a two-way conversation. But it is great to just be able to pick up the phone, call a customer, ask them a question because no different than they're calling us about how the industry is functioning. We want to do that same thing with our customers. And so, I will say that my travels have taken me everywhere in the United States and north of the border. And every one of our customers, when you know them by name and you have their phone numbers, that's when you know you've made that connection. And I have a lot of customer phone numbers in my cell phone. They'll text, they'll call, and it could be I have a challenge, or hey, I have a question for you, or can you help me find X? We want to make sure that we're doing that. We're in a unique in a unique business where our industry is very small. Everybody knows everybody, but the biggest thing is making that connection is what's key. And so I love that about our customers. I have a lot of funny stories, but I'll hold some of
Yeah.
those back for another time. But really, it's
Fair.
just being able to connect one-on-one with the individuals is what is it's meaningful.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't get a chance to connect with customers and partners very often. Really, it's just at our annual users conference, which it's so fun. It's just so nice to be able to talk to our customers and to listen. They have so much to tell you and to talk about if you just listen, you know. So, and how many years have you been at Carmack again?
I will, in November will be 29 years.
29 years. So your phone has a lot, 29 years worth of customer.
My phone number has been the same for 29
Oh, there
years.
you
So
go.
yes, it
Probably a
does
good thing.
have a lot of phone numbers in there. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, I love it. I love it. And you are right that if we're looking at the Carmack conference, that's where a lot of people get to connect with employees that they don't
Yeah.
normally connect with. But I do know that you know a lot of customers. I'm going to give a couple shout outs here just because there are fun ones. So we have Chris Naylor out at Nexttrend. We have Drew at Weir's. Michael Waters from Waters Truck. I mean, there are just endless of customers that are they're just amazing, and you can pick up the phone and just step into their shoes and vice versa and break bread with them, which is fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, me too. So my goal actually was this would be super fun, Michelle, because I do want to interview some customers. I think that someone that you listed would be perfect candidates, or there's a ton others. But we need to get these customers of ours on the phone, not on a phone, on the podcast. We need to interview and really, you know, steal some of their knowledge of the industry and what they're seeing at their dealerships or their service shops and share their knowledge. I think that would
Yeah,
be great. And
I think
we can go
that's
on site. We don't have to do it remotely. I don't think we could do it remotely, or we could go on site and have a cool podcast interview.
I think that would be fantastic. We have a lot of industry knowledge within Carmack, but the reason why we have that is because of our amazing customers that we have. So there are, as we always talk about, our true north. They're the ones that are going to tell us, here's the direction the industry is going, and it's our job to listen.
Yeah.
So having them on the podcast would be so fantastic because I'm sure that they have some great stories to tell about their customers and their partners as well, and how they're using tools today to help them in their everyday business. So, yeah, I think that would be fantastic. I love the idea.
Okay. So it is unfortunately time to hit the road. Michelle, thank you so much for joining me again. I know we will see you multiple times down the road. You can count on it. But yes, you are welcome back anytime, and I will be asking you to join me multiple times, I'm sure. So thank you again. Thank you to our listeners, to everyone out there. If you're on the road, in the office, at home, we appreciate you listening. For the next episode, make sure you bring your favorite drink of choice. Keep connecting, keep learning, and don't ever let your cup run empty. Okay, cheers.